The night the rain broke through the cracked roof and soaked the thin mattress on the floor, the boy realized that hunger was not the worst thing poverty could give you. It was the fear that tomorrow might look exactly like today, only colder. The walls of the one-room house shivered with the wind, and the boy lay awake listening to his parents breathe unevenly beside him, their breaths heavy with exhaustion and unspoken worry. Outside, the world moved on without noticing the small house at the edge of the city, without noticing the young boy whose dreams were bigger than his empty stomach, whose heart was heavier than his age should ever allow. Before the story goes any further, if you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in stories that remind us what it means to be human, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel for more stories that touch the soul. The boy's name was Arav, and he was born into a life that had no safety net. His parents were poor parents in the truest sense, not because they lacked love, but because life had taken more from them than it had ever given. His father's hands were rough and scarred from years of labor that barely paid enough to survive, while his mother's eyes carried the quiet sadness of dreams set aside for the sake of family. They lived on the outskirts of a crowded city, where tall buildings cast long shadows over narrow streets, and hope felt like a luxury item displayed behind glass. Every morning before the sun rose, Arav watched his father leave with a worn-out bag slung over his shoulder, walking miles to find daily work that might or might not exist. His mother stayed behind, trying to stretch yesterday's rice into today's meal, pretending not to notice the boy's hollow cheeks. Arav learned early how to read the silence in the room, how to understand when money was gone, and when dreams had to wait. He walked to school with torn shoes and a bag that held more hope than books, passing children who laughed easily, unaware of how heavy the world could feel. School was both an escape and a reminder. Inside the classroom, Arav's mind traveled far beyond the broken desk he sat on, imagining a future where his parents did not have to bow their heads in front of landlords and shopkeepers. But every break time brought reality back, as he watched others eat lunches wrapped neatly by loving hands, while he sipped water to quiet his hunger. He never complained because he had seen the pain in his parents' faces when they thought he was asleep. He carried their sacrifices silently, like a fragile treasure he dared not drop. At night, the city lights flickered like distant stars, and Arav lay beside his parents, listening to their whispered worries. He felt guilty for dreaming of more, guilty for wanting a life beyond survival, yet those dreams were the only thing that kept him breathing through the hardest days. His parents noticed his quiet determination, the way he studied under dim light, the way he refused to let circumstances crush his spirit. They had nothing to give him but belief, and sometimes belief is the heaviest gift of all. The struggle grew harsher when his father fell ill after a long winter of relentless labor. Without steady work, the fragile balance of their lives collapsed. Medical bills piled up like cruel reminders of their helplessness, and Arav watched his mother sell the last pieces of jewelry she owned, items that carried memories of better days. He wanted to help, to ease their burden, but the world did not offer many options to a young boy with empty pockets and big dreams. Still, he began working after school, cleaning shops, carrying loads, doing anything that earned a few coins. Each coin felt like a small victory, yet the road ahead remained unforgiving. Some nights, Arav returned home so tired that his legs shook, but he still opened his books, refusing to let go of his education. He believed that learning was his way out, not just for himself, but for his parents, too. The boy's heart carried a promise he had never spoken aloud, a promise to change their lives no matter how long it took. That promise burned quietly inside him, stronger than hunger, stronger than fear. Time passed slowly, marked by setbacks and small moments of grace. His father recovered enough to work again, though his strength was never the same. His mother found ways to earn from home, stitching clothes late into the night. Arav grew older, his face hardening with responsibility, his eyes still bright with hope. Teachers began to notice his dedication. his ability to rise above his circumstances. Opportunities appeared like faint lights in the distance, not close enough to touch, but close enough to follow. One day, a scholarship announcement was pinned to the school notice board, fluttering in the breeze like a challenge thrown at fate. Arav read it again and